All right, welcome back to another late night live right here on the Total OS Today Technology channel. Total technology for beginners and beyond. How's everybody doing this evening? I'll wait a few minutes until somebody sneaks in the live chat. Hopefully somebody will. Another one of my random unscheduled live events. For anybody who's up at this hour, it's not too late. It's about 10:18 Eastern Time here in the United States. Hope everyone is doing well. It does appear that Florida, the state of Florida, dodged a bullet with Hurricane Irma. They were predicting somewhat that Florida would get hit with a Category 5, a big one. And it actually wound up being more of a Category 2. I mean, Florida still got hit. The size of this thing was enormous. So the size of it didn't change, but the force of it did change. There are still millions of people without power. Not fun at all. But not as bad as what it could have been. Very lucky. I do have some friends who live in Orlando. I need to get a hold of them, possibly tomorrow evening, make sure they're okay. But anyway, for tonight's live event, and by the way, if you miss any of this, you can play this back later if you so choose to, or you will be able to download the audio portion of this as an MP3 format on the Patreon page on the TOS Today. Just search TOS Today, TOS Today on patreon.com if you would like to support the channel for as little as $1 a month. Thank you. So for tonight, we'll talk about Linux, Windows. Have you switched to Linux, or have you switched to Windows for that matter? Market share for Linux has gone up over 3%, which is quite an accomplishment when you think that Linux has been around for many years. I don't know if that really changes anything, if people have switched, if you dual boot. Do you even care about Linux share being over, market share being over 3%? I don't know. I don't know if that makes any difference anymore. I think people will use what they want to use regardless if it's Linux, Windows, or Mac. Don't think it matters anymore, but that's strictly my opinion. But I pose to you the question, have you switched? Have you ever switched? You tried Linux once and didn't like it? Of course, I dual boot, and I enjoy dual booting very much. To me, it's the best of both worlds. For gaming, I use mainly Windows. And for everything else, nowadays, just about for everything else, I use Linux. Probably more Linux, definitely more Linux than Windows, yeah. Fidel is in the house. Hello, Fidel Arnold. Let me go ahead and transition here so you guys can look at the chat. There we go. How's my mic? Sound check. Everything okay? I'm playing some background music, by the way, is from the YouTube audio library. I usually play music from Silent Partner. Of course, lots of good choices from the YouTube audio library. Lots of free stuff, so check it out. Okay, so it looks like we're streaming pretty good here. And we have Spirit Walker 108. What's up? Sean says, hi Toss, this is Mark saying hi from North Carolina. Hi Mark, how are you? Welcome to the live stream. Great to have you on board. I do believe that a piece of Hurricane Irma might hit you later on this week, if I am not mistaken. So Mark, what do you use? Do you use Windows? Do you use Linux? Have you switched to one or the other? Do you even care, since market share for Linux has jumped over 3%, which is actually pretty good. By the way, I love this wallpaper, by the way. I figure with the storm that hit Florida, I would make this somewhat, you know, like appropriate. But this is pretty cool wallpaper with this lightning bolt over the ocean. Anyway, let's see who else. We have Ben Fitzpatrick is in the house. Hello, Ben. He says, Toss, I gotta tell you, I'm beyond mad at Linux. The community is bleeping you off. Had it up the wall. Ben, I'm sorry to hear that. So Ben is a refugee from Linux right here in the Total OS Today channel. Welcome, Ben. Especially on G+. What is going on, Ben? I don't seem to have these issues. Anyway, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so Mark, you use Ubuntu Mate. So do I. I'm using for this live stream, I'm using Linux Mint Mate, but I also have Ubuntu Mate, the 1710 beta, in my Toshiba laptop, and it works pretty good. Mark, yeah. So I'm pretty happy with Ubuntu Mate. I don't see myself switching all the way to either one or the other. But I use what works, to be quite honest. Yeah. Let's see, Ben. You're considering taking the Matthew Moore route and dumping Linux as a whole and going back to only Mac. And hey, use what works. Whatever makes life happy for you, productive, fun. Ben, that's what it comes down to. You know, I use both for the sake of me. Carmine, that's my name. And not just the Total OS Today Technology channel. You know, this channel, years ago, came about because really 10 years ago there wasn't a lot of good channels for Linux. Of course, all of that has changed. There are a lot of good channels, so I've had to kind of branch out, you know, not just doing Linux to keep this channel going. But Ben, use what works. It's that simple. Alright, so Spirit Walker 108, Ubuntu Mate, Linux Mint, and many others in virtual machines. Okay. I only use virtual machines pretty much for testing. Yeah. But for the most part, I dual boot in just about every single one of my machines. Because I figure if for some reason I'm having problems with Linux, I'll go to Windows or vice versa. But so far, it seems to be okay. Let's see, Ben. You've had elite users all over the place, and it's been nothing but hostility towards newbies. Wow. From every chat room. You know, I created this channel, Ben, primarily for newbies. And not just newbies to Linux, but like newbies even to Windows, just to, you know, like a few tips here and there. But I was hoping after 7 years of the channel, the hostility or the so-called elite culture would end. But I guess it's just human nature, Ben, to have the friendly, the user-friendly, and the un-user-friendly. I'm sorry to hear that. But of course, with this channel, everybody's welcome. You know, it's all about people getting together and talking about technology and whatnot. So, but I'm sorry to hear that. Spirit Walker says, Windows annoys me, but Linux does at times too. Yeah, I would have to agree, Spirit Walker. The one thing about Windows, I don't care for the update process. Of course, the multiple, you know, reboots is annoying, but it works. You know, it works. And Microsoft made an announcement that they will no longer force Windows 10 upgrades or updates, if I read correctly, which is the right thing to do. They never should have done that in the first place. I think that was just nuts. Excuse me. But yeah, and that's your strategy too. Yeah, I created this channel back in March of 2010 because I found myself complaining about not enough good channels, informative channels for newbies to Linux. So I told myself, instead of complaining, do something. So I have, and I did, and here I am, or here we are. Hi Rose, welcome. My good friend Rose is chiming in from Canada and a contributor to the channel. Thank you, Rose, for your support. But that's why this channel was created, primarily for newbies to Linux, but of course I've branched off into other things, random vlogs, podcasts, live streams. I want this really to be a technology channel, really, or a total technology channel for all newbies, and really for everybody. And it is a refuge for people. This is not an elite channel, never will be. So everybody is welcome. Alright, so Ben, you're using Gentoo and Ubuntu. Considering selling your Linux laptop from System 76. Oh, you are. Okay. And just say bleep Linux for good. Well, that's good. That's cool with me, man, if you need to do that, Ben. Like I said, I'm sorry to hear that. Ben says your Linux days are over. Okay. It's all cool with me, Ben. Use what works. If all you use is Windows 10, that's perfectly fine with me. I use Windows 10 and will continue to do so. Once again, getting back to the main core of this livecast, live stream, Linux desktop share has topped over 3%, like 3.3, which is pretty good. And I guess my question is, have you switched to Linux, or have you switched to Windows, or have you switched to dual booting, or do you even care? After 7 years of me doing this, I think for me... Hi, Mark. Mark is in the house. Mark Ayulbach. How are you? Hi, guys. How are you doing today? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mark. And we also have a Mark from North Carolina too, which is Sean's. But anyway, yeah, I mean, for my situation, if for some reason Linux just crapped out and I couldn't use it, I'm fine. If Windows 10 crapped out for me and I had to use just Linux, I would be probably cool with that too. Whatever makes life easier. So Ben says you're only using Windows 10 at the moment. Okay. Let's go into some web items here. So if you search Linux, Windows, you know, you have all these blogs here. 11 reasons why Linux is better than Windows. I could probably think of the same amount of reasons, vice versa. Here we have 12 reasons why Linux is better. Should I use Linux or Windows? That depends who is being friendly and unfriendly, and who is elite. And unelite, I guess is the word. Which one is better? That depends. If you're into gaming, I think I would stick with Windows. Let's just take a look at one of these for the fun of it, then we'll go into some other stuff for this evening. So once again, those of you joining late, thanks for stopping by for this late night chat. If you miss any of this or miss all of it, you'll be able to watch this later. If you want to download the audio, MP3 audio of this to listen to it on the go, it'll be available on the Patreon page. Just search, well, go in the links below, or just search TOS Today on Patreon for the download link, and you can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. TJ Wolf is in the house. Hello. Alright, well, let's see. Let's take a look at one of these here real quick. Let's see, this is June of this year. This is July. I guess we can go with this one. More out of curiosity. So Windows 10 is slow on older hardware. Okay, I'll concede to that. You don't like the Windows 10 user interface. I suppose it's possible. I think it looks great and it's easy to use. But that's strictly my opinion. Spirit Walker says, prefer Linux. It suits your study of IT overall. Windows is needed for compatibility in some cases. That is true. The size of the Windows 10 download is huge. My answer for that is, who really cares? As long as it works. Jeremiah D, hello. Linux is free. Okay, well, I is there still a free upgrade to Windows 10? I don't know if that ended or is there a workaround. But anyway, Linux has many more free applications. Well, that's probably true, but how many of them actually work in your specific distro? So this is not necessarily a positive thing here. Rose, you got another laptop from your sister-in-law, a Lenovo. 204 gig Intel CPU Duo install Mint. Very good. I love my Lenovos and my ThinkPads. Yup. Security. Okay. This used to be probably my #1 reason why I use Linux. But you know what? Once you get on the web, forget about privacy. You probably should forget about security. But I don't know about this one anymore, considering the latest news last week about the breach with one of their credit companies. So, you know, security, I suppose I'll give the edge to Linux in general, especially with malware. So yeah, I'll give the edge to Linux for security for malware. Yep. Performance. This can be a hit and miss. Again, the video drivers are a hit and miss when it comes to Linux. Not so with Windows, at least not for from my experiences. The #8 reason, privacy. Why Linux is better than... Okay, once you get on the web, do you really have privacy? So this is a wash. I would not put this on there for privacy for, you know, Linux being better than Windows. Just my opinion. Yeah, Rose, I have multiple ThinkPads. I think they're awesome. Reliability. Windows is just not as reliable as Linux. I would have to disagree. I have not had those issues. So I don't think this is true anymore. Updates. Well, as I stated, if there's one thing that annoys me in Windows, the update process, I'll give the edge to Linux. Absolutely. Yeah, and the constant reboots. Of course, nowadays I found myself rebooting a lot in Linux too, which is no big deal. But yeah, with the updates, I'll give the edge to Linux. Variety. Okay. There are a lot of Linux distributions to choose from. You go to DistroWatch, there's 100, and then the countless offshoots and forks. But out of those hundreds, I think I read somewhere there's like 600 variations of Linux distributions. Do you really think all of those are good? There's probably just a handful that are really good. So I suppose I could give the edge to Linux for variety. Support. Microsoft has a lot of documentation. When you get stuck, you find yourself on their forums. Well, according to Ben here, the Linux forums or the Linux community isn't all that friendly. So I'm not sure about support, which is better. I suppose I could give the edge to Linux. So out of these 12 reasons, let me go back here. I would discount... what would I discount? The size of the download is huge. I would discount that. Okay, I suppose, yeah, most Linux is free. Alright, so I'll leave that there. Linux has many more free applications, but are they any good? So I would discount that. That's #2. Security, I'll give the edge to Linux. Performance, okay. Privacy, I would discount that. Once you get on the web, there is no privacy. That's 3 strikes I would give. Reliability, I don't know. I think that's all I'll change. I think it's pretty even. That's strike #4. Support, I guess that's a hit and miss. I suppose I could give that a strike, but I guess I'll leave that the way it is. Ben says you might buy ThinkPad G570. Okay. Hackintosh. Guess you were trying Hackintosh, Ben? Okay, so these are the 12 reasons or so on why Linux is better than Windows. You know, since we're on the subject, then I want to talk about the forgotten Linux OS. Let's go to reasons why Windows is better. Let's do the reverse. Windows 10 is free if you download for assistive technologies. Yeah, I think I saw that somewhere, Spirit Walker. Yeah. Check the how-to Greek. Okay. Alright, yeah, I think I did see that. Okay. So I just typed in reasons why Windows is better than Linux. Ben, I have never messed with Hackintosh, so yeah, I don't really have a view one way or the other. This is funny. Why arguing that Windows is better than Linux makes you silly? Really? Really? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. You don't do mods on my YouTube page. I mean, like modifications? Not really. Nah, I mean, YouTube just came out with the new overall different look for the default page. That's as far as my modding goes. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's pick something. Anything current. Let's try this. I guess we can try that one. Whoa, did I just see something here? Let's go back. 55 reasons why Microsoft Windows is better than Linux. Really? I don't know about 55. Looks like there's a book out. All the reasons Windows is better than Linux. That's interesting. Let me see here. You know what? I have to look at this. Why arguing that Windows is better than Linux makes you look silly. Let's go take a look at that. Oh, Brian Lunduk. I like Brian. Of course, he has the weekly Linux Thursday, or yeah, something like that. Reason number one: as soon as you mention one distro, all the fanboys go insane, claiming you've made the wrong choice. I don't say that. I say pick what works. Windows has more software. Well, it has more software that's compatible, possibly. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's not silly at all. Windows has more commercial support. It probably does. Whatever, just a fanboy. Windows fanboy 55. Cough. Yeah, I know, Rose. I like Brian. He does cool stuff. Windows is pre-installed. Well, nowadays you can buy Linux pre-installed laptops from System 76. Windows is easier to use. Overall, it is. Overall, if you're comparing all Linux distributions, yeah, Brian, I would say Windows is easier to use, sure. Anyway, these are his reasons. Also, goobery. It makes them look a bit goobery, whatever goobery means. Anyway, Brian Lunduk is crazy. Well, he's animated when he does this stuff, but that's okay. I believe him to be sincere, Ben. Absolutely. Let's see if there's anything else here, then we'll go to the next topic. The Windows Club, of course, they're going to say why Windows is better than open source systems. No operating system is as user-friendly as Windows. Well, that's not entirely accurate. Windows commands a market share that, while Linux is still languishing at 1%, this is from 2011, again, so that's changed. Open source operating, like the server editions, are often called the most secure operating systems. Yeah, well, I have to say that's true too. Windows supports a wide range of hardware. That is true. It is a hard task to find support for open source. Well, I don't think it's difficult to find support. It may be difficult to find user-friendly support for open source systems, I guess. Starting with Windows 10, final release, Microsoft Windows usually has a negligible amount of bugs. I would have to agree. Windows is probably the king of malware. Linux is the king of bugs. The question of costs. Now this is one area where Windows loses out. Almost all of the Linux flavors are either free of cost or available at a much lower price, whereas when you have to pay. Yep. That is true. Let's go into this one here, PC Linux OS. Has anybody heard of this? Do you remember this? This to me is the forgotten Linux OS. I still have a version of this installed in my older ThinkPad that had the Windows XP on it. This is, for my test, PC Linux OS has been one of the more stable Linux operating systems I've used in a long time. I believe it's a rolling release. They're more into stability versus cutting-edge software. And it looks like we have KDE Desktop Mate and community releases. But I believe PC Linux OS is the forgotten edition, or the forgotten distro. Oh, let's see, Rose. He's more crazy about privacy reasons and personal freedom, especially internet censorship, W3M, Facebook's decisions. He's almost like Tom, except he's not on fire. Tom from Switch to Linux. Yeah. He's Brian is into his privacy. I would have to agree, but I don't have a problem with him stating his beliefs, his reasons. He has a family-friendly show. I would say, but he definitely has his reasons about privacy. But again, sadly, once you get on the web, it looks like privacy probably doesn't exist anymore, and that's a shame. All right, let's go into let's see what's on Linux today, and then we'll move on. Let's see if anything catches my eye. Essential tools for producing high-quality podcasts. Well, let's take a look. PC Linux OS number 15 on DistroWatch, Rose. Okay, all right. I don't see it mentioned too much on YouTube. It seems, yeah. See here. Don't see the article on the essential tools for Linux podcasts. Let's see if we can search that. Let's try this. Alright, this is from Make Tech Easier. Rose, I think I've done a video or two on PC Linux OS, and I've liked it in the past. So yeah, I mean, it's, I might do an update if I download a newer version of it, but I have done one or two videos in the past, Rose. Thanks for asking. Alright, this is from Make Tech Easier, essential tools for podcasting. Well, let's see what they say. Audacity, I use that sometimes. Very good choice. Ardour, I do not use. Of course, Open Broadcaster Studio. Absolutely. OpenShot never seems to work for me. I use Kdenlive. USB audio interface. Yeah, interface. Yeah, this can definitely come in handy. Depending on the setup you have. Of course, you're probably looking, when you go into something like this, you're looking into hundreds and maybe thousands of dollars, which would be nice, but it is not necessary. Skype I use sometimes, although I believe the latest hot piece of software instead of Skype, I believe, is Discord. We have fewer podcast tools for Linux than for other platforms. Linux has no native iTunes client. Well, that's not really necessary. But as far as podcasting, not padcasting, podcasting today, it should not be that difficult no matter what you are using, in my opinion. All right, let's go back here. Let's go back, see if I missed anything. Jim Gemlin declares 2017 the year of the Linux desktop. Why not? It's been said for the last 10 years, right? Let's see here. The best KDE Linux distributions. Let's see what we got here. TJ, you tried Discord and did not like it. Was it not user friendly or just didn't work? Let's see here. Alright, so Linux Mint with KDE evidently is popular. OpenSUSE, I've tried that, it's not bad. KDE Neon, that's more cutting edge. Chaos, I don't believe, I know it's KOS, but I have to say Chaos. Haven't tried it. Kubuntu is good. Netrunner, I like the way it looks. Chakra, I don't believe I've used that. Debian I've used. I don't believe I've used Debian KDE. Fedora, don't use. Manjaro, again, that's more cutting edge. I don't really use. Arch with KDE for power users. I would agree with that. Okay. Tux Digital uses Discord. Yes, Tom hates Skype because Microsoft ruined it. Yeah, they changed it. I mean, it works, but they did change it. Let's go to this one. The year of the Linux desktop. Let's see, real brief here. 2017 has been a pretty incredible year in open source. I suppose so. Paradox of choice. The paradox of choice is a condition where people get anxious because there are too many choices. Okay. Yeah, Ben, have a good night. Catch you on the next one. Chaos emerges to help encourage participation. The Community Health and Analytics OSS or Chaos. Okay. The Linux Foundation has done a solid job of backing projects that impact the market. Well, you know, I don't know if it's really the year of the Linux desktop or if it even matters anymore. I mean, like I said, System 76 has done a good job in mass marketing Linux machines, if only on the web. And they seem to work. I believe Brian Lunduk uses only a System 76 rig for his video. So, yeah. Alright, so this is some latest Mac Apple news, 9 to 5 Mac. And then I think we'll finish this up here. Let's see, Apple TV 4K name Siri remote with haptics. Report. What does this say? Apple working with Stanford to test using Apple Watch for detecting heart problems. Oh, okay, that's cool. Qualcomm touts Android first as it hilariously, is that what it says? Hilariously tries to steal Apple's thunder. iPhone thunder. Oh well. What else we have here? People are already lining up for Apple's $1,000 iPhone. You heard that correctly, and you are reading this correctly. A $1,000 iPhone. Wow. People are already lining up for it in Australia. My goodness. Well, what can I say? The smartphone changed everything, and the iPhone is 10 years old. I should do a video on that. How the iPhone changed the world. Apple ranks third on Fortune's Change the World list. Okay. Anything else here? Catches my eye. A lot of 4K stuff. Analysts suggest consumers will pay $1,000. That's crazy. Let's see. Spotify's web player no longer works on Safari on the Mac due to apparent security. Here we go with security concerns again. Ah, boy. iOS 11 includes software to avoid burn-in on iPhone. On the new iPhone. Okay, well that's cool. Apple's special event. September 12th, which is tomorrow, to watch the keynote, the first ever event at the Steve Jobs Theater. Okay. More stuff on 4K Apple TV. Anyway. Well, let's see here. What's Happy Hour Podcast? That's a good name for a podcast. Happy Hour Podcast. Let's see. This week, Benjamin and Zach discuss 9 to 5's exclusive look at the leaked iOS 11 and what it reveals about the Apple Watch and new iPhone X. I haven't heard about the Happy Hour Podcast, but that may be something to listen to if you're an Apple fan. By the way, I think they finished that Apple park there in California. It looks terrific. Looks like one big spaceship. I forget where it's at exactly in California. Let's see what else we have here. Then we'll wrap this up. I want to thank everybody again for joining me for this late night live chat. Again, if you missed anything, you can play this back or just check out the Patreon page and you can download it as an audio file, listen to it on the go as you are running away from your hurricane. Anyway, I do feel sorry for those people in Florida, though. Millions without power. Alright, I think Apple donates $5 million to Hand in Hand Hurricane Relief Harvey. Okay, well that's cool. That's cool. Okay. Alright, we'll wrap this up here in a few minutes. So, who made the first real smartphone? BlackBerry rings a bell, the Palm Pilot, but in terms of all the features, Rose, and what a phone can do and applications, I suppose it was really Apple back in '07. I mean, there were other phones somewhat similar to the iPhone. I don't think they had full touchscreen capability, though, as far as I remember. But yes, I do remember Blackberries and Palm Pilot. I think I used to have a Palm Pilot or fiddled with one. But once the iPhone came out, it really was well, it was a leap into the future, Rose. Yeah. I mean, the iPhone changed everything. It really, really did. And at the time that came out, I believe it was $500 or more. There was no discount with the contract or whatever. It was pay the price or leave it, if I recall. Rose, yeah. So, yeah, it's been 10 years. And the market keeps, I mean, think how many people have mobile products. Of course, not everybody has an iPhone. But, I mean, how many of us use our phones on a daily basis to access the web or whatever? So, yeah. Alright, I think I'm going to end this here. So thanks everybody again for joining me tonight. And I think maybe for the next one we'll talk about the latest, or I had some fun listening to the latest Ubuntu podcast. It was fun to listen to. That's on ubuntupodcast.org if you're interested. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that one. Just to do something different. I think I've done that once before. So for this one, I want to wish everybody a good night. Be safe. And I'll catch you on the next live event. I can't really say coast to coast. That's you. So I'll catch you on the next live event. Toast to toast. And somebody told me maybe I should start the show or end the show. Here's my toast to you. Get it? Total OS Today toast. Anyway, sure. Here's my toast to all of you for this evening, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.